Every empire believed it was eternal: Rome, Mongol, British, Ottoman, Persian. 5 signals, 1 pattern, 0 survivors.
The Roman signal. At its peak, Rome fed 1 million people in a single city, an impossible feat for the ancient world. It built 85,000 kilometers of roads, many still in use today. It codified law that forms the basis of every Western legal system still operating.
Why it fell: military overextension across 3 continents, economic collapse driven by currency debasement, internal division between military factions, loss of civic identity, citizens stopped believing in Rome. The fall was not a single event. It was a 300-year fade. The Roman Empire did not collapse. It was forgotten into irrelevance. Mongol Empire, the largest contiguous land empire in history. At its peak in 1270 AD, the Mongol Empire covered 24 million square kilometers, 1/5 of the total land mass of Earth. Ruled by a family that began with a boy abandoned on a steppe.
Genghis Khan's actual strategy: the story is not brutality. The story is information. Genghis built the most sophisticated intelligence network of the medieval world. Every city he approached received an offer: surrender and prosper. The cities that refused became examples. The Pax Mongolica. After conquest came something unexpected: a century of relative peace. The Silk Road functioned. Ideas crossed continents. Plague also crossed continents. The Black Death traveled the Mongol postal routes. The infrastructure that connected the world also ended it.
British Empire, the sun that would not set. In 1920, the British Empire covered 24% of the world's land surface. 412 million people. 57 territories. Every continent. The English language is its most durable legacy. The East India Company, a corporation, not a government, conquered India. The British East India Company had its own army, at peak, 260,000 soldiers. It controlled trade routes, taxed populations, and fought wars. The British Empire was partly outsourced to shareholders.
भारत का दृष्टिकोण 1757 में प्लासी की लड़ाई ने भारत को बदल दिया। 200 साल की औपनिवेशिक शासन ने एक महाद्वीप को पुनः आकार दिया, लेकिन इसने स्वतंत्रता आंदोलन को भी जन्म दिया, जो इतिहास का सबसे बड़ा अहिंसक प्रतिरोध बन गया।
Why it ended: 2 world wars drained the treasury. Nationalist movements made governance unsustainable. The ideology of empire became indefensible in a post-Holocaust world. Empires end when the story that justifies them loses its audience. Ottoman Empire, 600 years of continuous power, founded 1299. Dissolved 1922. No empire in history maintained continuous rule for longer. At its height it controlled 3 continents and 2 oceans.
The Janissary system. The Ottomans built their elite military from Christian boys taken as tribute. Converted to Islam. Trained from childhood. Loyal only to the Sultan. It worked for centuries. Then the Janissaries became powerful enough to make and unmake sultans. The innovation that built the empire became the mechanism that corrupted it.
The long decline. Historians call it the Eastern Question: what to do about a dying Ottoman state. Britain, France, Russia, and Austria all had different answers. The Ottomans had their own: survive. They survived 300 years past the point everyone predicted their collapse.
Achaemenid Persia, the first human rights empire. Cyrus the Great wrote the world's first charter of human rights in 539 BC. The Cyrus Cylinder freed slaves, allowed conquered peoples to return home, respected local religions. This was not mercy. This was engineering.
The Persian model of governance: let conquered peoples keep their customs, collect taxes but don't humiliate, build roads, maintain postal systems, protect trade, appoint local satraps but audit them from the center.
Why it worked: people do not rebel against comfort. The Achaemenid model created a multi-ethnic empire that mostly wanted to stay together. It fell not from within, but to Alexander, in a military campaign of extraordinary speed and violence.
The pattern across all five, every empire rose on a single decisive competitive advantage, expanded until that advantage became a liability, failed to adapt its governance model to its own scale, was replaced by the next civilization that solved the same problem better. No empire ever said, "We are declining," they all said, "We are adjusting."
The lesson they all missed: the most dangerous moment for any empire is peak power. At peak power, the feedback loops that warned of weakness are suppressed. Success feels like destiny. Decline feels impossible. Until it is inevitable, signal. Terminated.